Back here on HQ, going over the biggest needs for teams as we inch closer to the draft. Right now, taking a look at the division where we find our Super Bowl champs, the Eagles, the NFC East, your division as well. Haley.
I had to hold back a boo there, and that's growth.
Yeah, Giants have the highest draft pick, sitting at 3 overall. Cowboys not too far, sister, behind at 12 after they finished just 7-10 last year. Commanders looking to build off of that Cinderella season at 29, and the Eagles trying to shore up an already stout roster with the NFL pick in the first round. And of course, we got to welcome back in the fellas here, Bryant McFadden and Tyler Sullivan. Biggest needs for each team in the NFC East when it comes to the draft. Giants at number 3. Look, it's no secret that they need a quarterback, all right? But they need a whole lot more there, right, B-Mac? So where did the Giants put their focus? Is it quarterback? Is it playmakers? Is it everybody?
Quarterback, 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 quarterback. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Draft your young quarterback and build around him. Great job in selecting Malik Neighbors in the first round a year ago. But go get him a proven quarterback that he can build a relationship with, and the same can be said for the entire offense. They've been struggling. The entire Daniel Jones saga was not good, and clearly he's no longer a part of their organization. Got released a year ago, so trying to find that young quarterback is the way to go for me with the New York Giants.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other option, right? It has to be a quarterback for the New York Giants. I mean, like, you saw what happened this past season, and they just had zero quarterback play, and it's part of the reason why they're picking number 3 overall at this draft this spring. My concern is, and it was similar to what we were talking about with the New York Jets, my concern is where are they going to be able to find this quarterback? Because it sounds great. Okay, you have number 3. Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward will certainly be there for you, right? Well, I still have my doubts. I know that Tennessee has been showing you that they might not take a quarterback. Same thing with the Cleveland Browns. Like, they might take Abdul Carter to help replace Myles Garrett if they decide to move off of him. You can make the cases for all that. But at the end of the day, I look at both of those rosters. I look at Tennessee's roster. I look at Cleveland's roster. Will Levis is not a starting caliber NFL quarterback. We have no idea if Deshaun Watson will even play quarterback again after suffering another Achilles tear. So to me, those teams clearly have a need at quarterback that, of course, they potentially could fill in free agency or trade, but more likely than not, they might draft Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. And if you're the New York Giants, you're sitting there going, oh boy, I mean, yeah, it's great to have Travis Hunter into the fold, but still. So to me, I would be aggressive, call up Tennessee, see what you could potentially do to get up to number 1 to secure yourself a quarterback at the NFL draft.
Yeah, to our point, we've kind of been talking about this all day. There's just not that many options. Maybe giving Daniel Jones a call back and just saying like, hey. No, I'm just kidding. I hope they do not do that. Let's talk about my Cowboys, gentlemen, because we know that it is an experience anytime America's team is in the spotlight. We also know that Jerry Jones and that all-in narrative last year was complete BS. So if we pivot to 2025, I know Ryan Wilson's been so high on Ashton Jeanty being in Dallas. Tyler, I also like that idea. But with Zach Martin retiring, someone's got to protect Dak, right? So where do you go when it comes to what the Cowboys need?
Yeah, you can certainly go with the offensive line, but to me, it just seems so obvious, right? Like, it should be Ashton Jeanty. It seems like that is such a clear and obvious pick that they attack the running back position, but specifically go after Jeanty with that first-round pick, because we've seen, I think this past year's a great example of, if you have an elite running back, it does change how opposing defenses attack you and how much easier life is. And I think that Jeanty is in that conversation of maybe not right away in year 1, but certainly throughout his career has the capabilities and the sheer talent to be one of the top running backs in the entire NFL. And we're looking at a Dallas Cowboys team, and you know this, Haley. I mean, they were absolutely awful at running the football last year. Bottom 10 in the NFL rushing, bottom 3 in yards per attempt. They couldn't do anything. So, you know, and you kind of mask it. Okay, well, Cooper Rush was in there for most of the year. Dak got hurt. It didn't matter. We could have been under center. They still wouldn't have been able to run the football. It just seemed like an absolute Achilles heel for this team. So again, attacking the running back position with Jeanty in the first round seems to make the most sense to me.
What makes running backs have elite-like seasons? Elite protection. Saquon Barkley was already a made man, but when he got behind that offensive line in Philly, we saw a Saquon Barkley we've never seen before. And that is the mindset for me with the Dallas Cowboys picking at 12. I love the idea of Ashton Genty wearing that star on his helmet. But when you look at how deep this running back class is, you can go get you a high-value guy in the second or third round and get sound production. But one thing we know about Jerry Jones, he does not mind utilizing first-round picks on offensive line play. And that's where I'm going. Offensive line, Josh Simmons from Ohio State, outstanding tackle. He's a guy that's not just a one-trick pony. In pass pro, dominating. Run pro, dominating. And then if you draft him, you can potentially move Tyler Guyton to the right side. So now you have two bookend tackles to protect your franchise quarterback and Dak Prescott, two bookend tackles to pave running lanes for whoever it is Dak Prescott will be handing the football to. And I think that improves the offense faster when you look at having a sound offensive line to work from, because I can care less about the wide receivers, the tight ends, and the running back. If you don't have sound offensive line production, good luck in seeing numbers coming from those guys.
I agree with everything that they're saying. What do you think for your team you need more, running back or O-line?
We need an O-line. I love Rico Dowdle. I have been on Rico Dowdle's fan group for quite some time now, so I'm so glad that he had the big breakout year. But to B-Mac's point, like, Dak is always hurt. We need an offensive line. Zach Martin has been a staple for 10 years on that O-line. Give me offensive linemen in Dallas. Please, Jerry.
Please, Jerry. We're pleading with you here on HQ. All right, fellas, how about the Commanders? Magical season, right, for them. Jaden Daniels, Rookie of the Year, and then some. But he was the one who carried this team to the NFC title game, and their shortcomings were really put on display. What needs do the Commanders need to focus on coming up on this next draft night? We'll start with you, Sully.
Yeah, I think it's another pass catcher for Jaden Daniels. You can make the case for offensive line. You make the case to continue to bolster the defense. I believe they'll do that with the ton of cap space that they have. I think currently they have like the third most cap space, and that's not even accounting for when they move off of Jonathan Allen. So they're going to have capabilities to bolster the roster, you know, in any which way they want in free agency. But to me, I think that they need another pass catcher. Terry McLaurin's unbelievable, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. But you know who was number 2 in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns for the Commanders last year? It was Zach Ertz, who's currently a free agent and at the twilight of his career. So to me, you still need someone there for Jaden Daniels to grow and develop with. To me, I don't know if he'll still be there, but if somehow they could get Tyler Warren out of Penn State to replace the shoes of Zach Ertz at that tight end spot, I think that would be a fascinating addition to pair with Daniels.
All right, guys, I'm told we're tight on time, conveniently. So we got to talk about the Eagles who won the Super Bowl. Oh, sorry, B-Mac, I cut you off. I was so ready to move past. What do you think about the Commanders before we now even have less time to talk about the Eagles?
I'll go quick. I love the idea of taking a pass catcher. Me personally, I think the defensive side is the way to go. Not knowing exactly which pass rushers will be available at 29. I have the Commanders taking Jahdae Barron, the Thorpe Award winner from Texas. When you're in a division where you have to see CeeDee Lamb twice a year, Malik Neighbors twice a year, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown twice a year, you better have guys that can cover. Yes, they traded for Marshawn Lattimore from the New Orleans Saints a year ago, but durability issues has been a main factor with his career, especially the last few years. So adding more depth in the secondary position will really help their defense out.
All right, now we've got 15 seconds for both of you to talk about the Super Bowl winning Eagles. So B-Mac, because I cut you off, I'm coming to you first. What do the Eagles need to do to get back to the Super Bowl next year?
Linebacker, Jahed Campbell from Alabama. When you look at who he is as a player, he's an off-ball linebacker, but he has the ability to rush the passer. Remember, Zach Bond had an all-pro year. Only received $3.5 million, so you know he's going to get a significant pay raise. Will it be with the Eagles? We don't know, but he will have a really, really nice market. And then you look at Nakobe Dean. He tore his patella tendon in the wild card game, not knowing exactly where he will be health-wise. I think Campbell is the way to go in terms of adding more depth to the off-ball linebacker position, and he can be utilized as a pass rusher.
Yeah, I like that spot there for linebacker for the Eagles. But to me, it's edge rusher. You referenced Zach Bond being a free agent. You know who's also going to be a free agent is Josh Sweat. And so if you can continue to build on that strength off the edge, if you can get a James Pierce out of Tennessee or Michael Williams, if he falls to you out of Georgia, another Georgia Bulldog, to me, that's where you need to go if you're Howie Roseman and the Eagles.
I don't like it, but they were the best team in football this year.
They don't need to be better.
We don't need to make them better.
The NFC is, we're full.
Good.
We're full.
We're good. Guys, Always a good time talking ball with the both of you. Taking a look here at the odds to win the NFC when it comes to the NFC East. This hurts my feelings even more, but it doesn't matter. Of course, the Eagles are a plus 300 favorite to win the NFC, followed by the Commanders at plus 850. My Dallas Cowboys got some work to do, 25-1 odds, but not as much work as the Giants, who need just a little bit of everything going into this 2025 season.